I'm pushing record right now. We're going to go back to the sound effects, right? The rant is popping off. Anime, can I get the war horn again? Get your mind ready, because I might say some shit that's going to insult you and make you feel bad, but I don't give a fuck. This Gye-Nyame, because we got to have real talk. There's some stuff going on that we really have to be concerned about in our community, right? So, let's start off with it. Kuumba, a beautiful principle. All the principles are magic powers when you invest yourself into them. And when you find your personal principle, you're able to manifest the power within that principle. But that power that comes from the principle comes from all of them working together. You just have learned how to harness the power of one. Right? And Kuumba is one that a lot of people are able to use, because Kuumba is a very open principle, because you need it in all aspects of life, just like all the other principles. But Kuumba is one that is running rapid through our community. Kuumba allows you to become very, very creative. And one of the first places that we strive to be creative with, because we are not able to be creative with material things, because we don't have a lot of material things, is being creative with our tongues. And in our creativity with our tongues, we start over-creating. We start creating shit that wasn't there before. In other words, we start lying. We start lying, which is the motivation for the discussion today. Creatively lying about your success. I am so sick of black folk, because I deal with my community. I'm so sick of black folks talking about how they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, how they did it all by themselves, how they didn't have any support. I'm so sick of that shit. That shit is dangerous to our community. I'm not going to call it treason, but it's pretty damn close, because this is the issue. When you sit up here and you stand up on the stage and you accept the award from white people and say that you did it all by yourself, and if you did it, that means that everybody else should be able to do it. You are, in a sense, committing treason. What do you mean, Brother Hatim? That's kind of harsh, Brother Hatim. What the fuck are you saying, Brother Hatim? What I'm saying is this. We know that human beings are social creatures. We know that a baby that is not basically embraced damn near at birth, if they are not given the love and the attention that they need, they will die regardless of how much food you pump in them. They need that embrace. They need their biochemical machine to be able to produce the oxytocin so that they know that they are alive. We are social creatures. We have survived throughout all the hardships of the world, regardless of whether it was brought on by nature or whether it was brought on by man, by the social structure that we create, about the social systems, by the social systems that we create to help maintain us, whether they're negative social groups or whether they're positive social groups. We have been created by social groups. And so for one of us to get up on stage and to start talking about their success as if they did it all by themselves, it's a goddamn lie. And we got to stop telling these lies, because what starts to happen is that individuals start believing these lies, and they start believing, they say them so much that not only do they start believing, their followers start believing, they start believing their lies themselves, and they think they could do anything, even touch our young babes. I can have sex with them because I am a God. I have created myself. I have sprung myself forth. I have created myself. I have no parents. There was none before me. There will be none after me. All this shit is an illusion. This is the shit that people creating, right? They're creating their life and said, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, so you should be able to do the same thing. But they don't tell you about the auntie that may have took them in. They don't tell you about the grandparent that may have sacrificed and made space for them in their house. They don't tell you about the uncle that kept them out of trouble, or the uncle that caught them when they was cutting school and took their ass back to school and said, keep your ass in school. They don't tell you about the neighborhood drunk or individual who told them, nigga, you can't be drinking around me. They don't tell you about that. They don't tell you about the friends that helped them throughout their life. It's all about them. It's all about them, and they did it and they pulled themselves up. But they creatively leave out individuals, the social structure in their life that made it possible for them to become who they are. And unfortunately, some of them start believing that shit and start thinking that they're untouchable. Start believing that all the shit that is manifesting in their life is happening to them because they special. Family. Not only we lying to the world, we're lying to ourselves. We're using Kuumba in a negative way. We're using Kuumba in a sense as the negative magic of Kuumba to create things that do not exist. And unfortunately, some of us are not smart enough not to get caught up in our own web of deception. How can you sit up here and say you pulled yourself up by the bootstraps when it was your mama that gave you the boots? Your grandmama that gave you your boots. Your grandfather that gave you your boots. The stranger that may have adopted you that gave you the goddamn boots. Or the person that helped you understand the mathematics or gave you the writing secret that you have used to catapult yourself to where you are. How is it that you can neglect and turn your back on your community when it comes time to give praise and praise a God that you have never seen, but don't say shit about the grandmother or the uncle or the aunt that propelled you, that truly propelled you? I'm just trying to keep it all the way. I'm trying to keep it all the way real with you because in Gye-Nyame, we got to start being honest. We make it because we make it. We don't make it because I made it. It was so many blessings that happened to Brother Hatim in his life. Because I could structure a story and say that you know what I'm saying, the little bit of success that I have in my life was all due to me. I could tell that. And what's even crazier about it is that people around me will not even object to me doing that because we're so used to doing it as a group. It's okay. We make it okay. Right? I don't have to tell people about Sister Jackie who inspired me because she looked at one of my poems and said, I want to hang that shit up on my wall. You need to give me this. I'm going to hang this shit up on my wall. I tell you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even have to mention her. She wouldn't even get mad about that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, she would back up my story about me pushing through and being on my own. Right? I wouldn't have to mention John. I wouldn't have to mention Jamie. I wouldn't have to mention some of the people in my life that brought me through, that helped me make it through my younger years, and they wouldn't even be mad at me. Because it's okay. That's what we do. We just deny all the shit that we went through. And I just talk about the shit that I create, and everybody in my circle will be like, that's right. He did that shit. Knowing that they had something to do with it and wouldn't even say shit. And even people in my modern life today, far as what I'm able to do and how I'm able to help people, they would allow me to go on with my fantasy and my lie and say that, hey, I did it all by myself, but we need to stop that shit. That nigga lying. There's no way that he did all this shit by his goddamn self. There's no way that he did this without help. And for him just to go on and salute God and not thank all of the people around him, because God, we know as Gye-Nyame that God operates. If there is a creator, if there is a higher power, it operates through other human beings around you. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. If there's a divine power, it's working through the people around you. This is why in Gye-Nyame we talk about spirituality. We're not talking about some shit that you can't see. We're talking about the actual shit that you can see in people's lives. Because you can tell how spiritual somebody is by the amount of relationships that they have in their life and the health of the relationships in their life. If a motherfucker's relationships in his life is fucked up, so is his spirituality. Y'all don't want to hear, nobody want to hear the truth. Y'all want to run around here telling these goddamn lies and allowing people to tell these lies. Go ahead and let people believe that you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps till that shit come and bite you in the ass. So I'm going to go and stop right here because I'm mad. This shit makes me so, it irritates me to my soul. That we have a whole segment of people out here that believe that they shouldn't be giving their children, our children, a boost. We shouldn't be putting ourselves in position so that we could do favors for people within our group. You know what I'm saying? Because they believe that they made it on their own. Lying motherfucker, lying fatherfucker. You just a goddamn liar. Excuse my don't even excuse my language, but I'm so upset about it because there's so many of us out there that's like this, and we're able to turn our back on everything and side with whatever side we want because we believe it's all about us. When we've been telling you here, Gye-Nyame, it's about the tribe, and you're gonna need us one day. You're gonna need your tribe one day, family. And guess what? No longer will we come to those that have denied us. No longer will we be of help to you. You pick that mate that you went outside the tribe, guess what? You get to stick with that motherfucker. Right? Or fatherfucker. That's your choice. You know what I'm saying? You made that wrong choice. You know what I'm saying? You made it all by yourself. Then you gonna deal with the consequences by yourself. Because you said you did it all by yourself. So we want you to handle that all by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to come and visit all of us, right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go. Hey. So, Anime, sound the horn. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And as we say in Gye-Nyame, family, here you go. Class dismissed. Now, get the hell up out of my classroom. Thank you very much. Those of you that's here don't go nowhere yet. I'm just, y'all know what I'm saying. Let me go and turn off the recorder. Right now, we about to start the rant anime. Can I get the horn, please? Can I get the horn? Oh, man, the war horn has sounded, and my mind is reeling. I clicked the watch, and the clock is ticking. And it's rant time. It's rant time at Gye-Nyame. And I didn't even, matter of fact, I'm going to take some time and finish the rant from yesterday. I didn't finish the rant from yesterday, and I'm going to finish the rant for today. So I'm thinking, well, actually, let's say this. While walking this morning, because like I said, one of the reasons I like doing the workout is because, it gives me time to be able to be constructive as well as learn, right? So I don't have to sit down and read a book, because it's hard to read a book while I'm walking. But I can listen to a book while I'm walking. I can listen to a podcast while I'm walking. And I'm walking, and I tune into my weekly dose of Miss Fine Ass Karen Hunter and my brother Greg Carr, right? I mean, fine. I mean, she's a tourist, so But she fine. Tourists are fine, but not for me. Now, tourists might do something, but I love me some tourists, but stubborn as hell. But anyway, that's neither here or there. My little personal crushes and shit like that, that's neither here or there. But, but Greg said some shit. And as far as believing in the system, because they were talking about, this week they was talking about, it started off talking about Big Brother, but of course Greg's going to always take it. Greg is a master storyteller and a master historian and one of those individuals that have the ability to, it's like he reads shit and he can memorize it and then bring it back around. And then also he has the skill and the time to, well, I ain't gonna say skill and the time. It ain't like he ain't, you know what I'm saying? But he has put himself in a lane where he is able to not only get the historical facts that everybody else knows, but he has the time to go and get the behind the scene thing. And he has the mind to look at something and compare it to the time and be able to frame it in a story that gets you engaged, and which is a model of teaching that a lot of us need to follow, because the storytelling is a very powerful tool to use. But they was talking about a show that Miss Karen was watching, and it's called Big Brother. I don't know nothing about the show, but anyway, Greg took it a little bit deeper than that, and they started asking questions, and then she started talking about a book that Greg got her reading, Blood in Your Eye. I can't remember the brother's name that wrote it. It's a song, man. I can't. Somebody out there know who wrote Blood in the Eye. brother that was locked up for a very long time, George Jackson. Was it George Jackson? Anyway, reading the book and start talking about us believing in the power of the enemy. And in a sense, it came to me, we believe more in the fantasy of the power of the enemy than we believe in ourselves, because the only reason the enemy has the power is because we invest in the system. What do I mean invest in the system? It's like we're not willing to sacrifice it all. See, for individuals and for people who are willing to give it all up, fuck you, fuck your system, take whatever you want, they have absolutely no power over you, because death is the ultimate power that they supposedly hold over you. But it's your belief in the system that empowers it. And as many, and as long as a majority of us, and I ain't even gonna say a majority, it only takes a critical mass of us to kind of extract our belief out of it. See, and we got to extract it because it's like we limit our greatness, we limit our beauty, we limit our power to our belief in their system, to our belief in the fantasies that they have painted for us. They are the Almighty. They are the center of the universe. And we don't want to admit that. We don't want to admit that the systems that they got us involved with put them at the center, so they don't have to talk about their shit, because their shit is at the center. So we always got to preface our shit with black, but they could just say history, right? I mean, think about this. White folks could say we could talk about history and come in and everybody understands that we're talking about their history. So they don't have to say white history. They say history. And they're going to find a way to loop themselves in, blah, blah, blah. It's automatically. We're going to put them in if they don't put themselves in. But when we talk about we got to preface ours with black history. Why? Because we are not at the center of the universe. We have allowed their fantasy, we have allowed the myth that they have created about themselves to move us out of the center of our own view, to move us out the center of our own lives, to move us out the center of our own communities, and allow them to dominate us by goddamn fantasies. I've been telling y'all on Gye-Nyame Journey that white folks historically are the luckiest motherfuckers on the planet. I mean, you have not found, they are not where they are by cunning. They are not by where they are by brilliance. They are where they are right now. If you look at it, they are where they are right now for purely by luck. It wasn't because they were smarter than you. Wasn't. It wasn't. Luck. Now, and then you don't believe me? Let's just say this. Let's just say this. There's been many times where, in a sense, some of the councils in Kemet or in Africa that may have stopped some of the leaders that said, let's just dominate all this shit. Oh, no, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Hell, talk about let's talk about some East Asians. Hell, far as Europe is full of lucky. They are so lucky. You know what I'm saying? It's been so many where at the edge, they were on the edge of destruction, and something lucky happened. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, because God blessed them. No, it's luck, motherfucker. That's what it is. It's luck, right? Period. Point blank luck. Luck. And you know, and congratulations. But those of you that have ever done anything based on luck, you know that eventually what? The luck runs out. And the luck is running out. Why? Because some of us are coming to an understanding that we can no longer allow this fantasy to set the parameters of our life, to set the parameters of our existence, because it's not healthy for us. It's not healthy for our children. And we could no longer let them be at the center of existence. We base our pride on ourselves and in our children on how we achieve on their tests. or how far we go in their systems of education, or how many certifications we got from their institutions, or how high we made it into their exclusive institutions. When we need to start constructing some of that stuff for ourselves, family. We are believing in a fucking fantasy, a white man's fantasy, a West Asian fantasy, and we're going to continually lose as long as we hold on to it. We're moving into a time where we had time to realize this. It's more than enough of. It's a critical mass of us right now that's out here like, this shit is not right, this shit is not right. And we don't have enough of us putting out the message, you're right, it's not right, but this is what we're going to do. This is why in Gye-Nyame we are focusing on tribe building. We are focusing on getting you to understand the power of the tribe in your family, in your personal life, right? In your political life, in your economic life, right? Many of y'all, we need to come up out of this individualism, this individual fantasy, because individuals did not survive. Individuals did not build shit. It was collectives that did it. It was collectives that built the pyramids. It was collectives that lifted us to greatness. It was us recognizing the power of the collective that allowed us to do it. And they have fooled us to get us to start believing in this individual philosophy when they don't even practice it. They don't practice that shit. But we do. We're following it, thinking that they practice it because that's the way they do it. But they don't do that. See, because when they get mad at you, they don't come at you as an individual. They come at you with a posse. You know what I'm saying? We be putting our children down talking about this gang shit, right? They got that straight out their education system, because I'm telling you right now, they were the original mobs. They were the original vandals. They were the original thugs and shit. That's them. We're imitating them, right? They don't come at you as individuals. They come at you with groups. Because it wasn't an individual that burnt down anything that we had, ever. And we didn't just give it up either. But that's part of the fantasy, right? White man come in like John Wayne and be like, you never need to put down your guns. You need to just give it up. It never happened like that. But that's part of the fantasy, family. And the challenge for you is to come up out the fantasy. To wake up and come up out the fantasy. And because it is your belief in the fantasy that is powering it. The very way your mind works. The very way your mind works. Or the very way that your mind was trained to work. Is putting you in a situation that you can't win. When I'm telling you, it's very possible we can win when we stop playing the fantasy game and we move to reality. What's the reality? The reality is that you are the original man and woman. The reality is that you have power over your mind. The reality is that we can warp and we can form the reality that we need to be. By us working together, by us being able to supply some basics. And we don't have to supply everything because it's a global economy. It'd be stupid for us to talk about providing everything. We don't need to provide anything. We just need to become good at providing what we are good at and managing it and making sure that we control it from the rooter to the tutor. So if we want to finance the world with entertainment, because that's the resource that we have. And I know a lot of people put that shit down, but people don't really realize the importance of entertainment in the world and how much it makes. Or sports. Because sports is part of entertainment. Family, we don't even understand that we are a fucking gold mine. We control the gold mine. You had a whole week where people was waiting for this little girl who was suspended from the Olympics for smoking some goddamn weed to come out and run a race and lose. Whole world was waiting to see what happened. Now motherfuckers just checked in, but that's enough attention to get paid. That's a gold mine. That's called a gold mine. That's called economic power. Now, how much money do we get off of that? How much money did Miss Richardson get off of that? You know what I'm saying? How much money did her family get off of that? I bet you it wasn't enough. Why? Because we're caught up in the fantasies of others. But yo, this is Brother Tim. Give me the war horn. I'm over. And as we say in Gye-Nyame, get the hell up out of my classroom. Class dismissed. All right, we're going to pour these libations. I'm going to get up. I think I'm supposed to have a family meeting or something today, and then I'm about to move on. Brother Kwame said they came into a civilized world that thought they were an anomaly, not realizing that was their nature. There go Kwame. Hey, listen. And it's so true. I mean, it's like, and it's like they made their norms, the norms, and we went with it. Right? Family, you got to realize that because of the way we saw the world, and this is how let me turn this off. This is how, minutes for me to try to make my point. Can I please get the horn, Anime? Can I get the horn, baby? What's going on? You moving kind of slow. One horn. Oh, man, the rant is on in the rant today. The rant today is, you might be doing too much. You might be doing too much, right? See, now, there's two ways this can happen. This could be where you have the individual that is so busy that they start moving in and interfering with other people doing things. All right? They're so busy, right? They not only want to do what they do, but they want to do what everybody else is doing. They want to make sure everybody else is doing everything that they're supposed to be doing because they think they could do everything better than everybody else. So they try to do everything and then complain about doing everything. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, you doing too goddamn much. Sit down. Slow down. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because this is a group effort. Unity requires individuals to be able to understand order. And it's hard for them to understand order if you are always stumbling in people's way. If you always whispering in people's ears. If you are always up in people's face. You might be doing too much. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because I know that you might have a timetable, but the collective might have a whole different timetable. Right? Might be working at a whole different rhythm. And you might be doing too much. You might be dancing and stepping on people's feet. You might be trying to drum and hit other people's drum. You might be trying to build and stealing and taking other people's tools. You understand what I'm saying? And you might not even be as good as you think you are. You might be doing too much, right? And it interferes with the whole concept of emoji, right? It slows the emoji down. It makes emoji unattractive to other people. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, I'd be better off working by myself, right? Because, you know, it's like, yo, you might be the heart, but at the same time, you want to be the foot. You want to be the brain. You want to be the blood, right? You might be the quarterback, but now you want to be the fullback. And you want to be the lineman. Everybody has to do their position, and they don't need you bumping into them and grinding up against them, doing the intentional. Do your job, right? But then there's the other person that might be doing too much. And these are the people who might not even understand what's really going on, right? They've been sold a bill of goods, and they think they know how things should work. So they organize it in a way that is outside of our culture, right? And they do a lot of talking, right? A whole lot of talking about what should happen and how it should happen when they have absolutely no concept of how things work in our culture. Or how things worked in our culture. And they're trying to make things work like a machine, not realizing that the whole machine paradigm that we use and I'm guilty of it too. This whole machine paradigm that we use is from a Western point of view. The Western world, the West Asians, came up with the idea of the machine, and they think that the universe runs like a machine. That was the best way that they could describe it, because that is how they interact with nature, right? Very mechanical, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's their worldview. But was that our worldview? And was that the worldview that we used to get to where we were, or when we were at our pinnacle? Right? And is that the worldview that's going to move us back into power? Or is it the worldview that's going to move us into being the next white people on the planet? See, and please understand, being a white people does not mean that your complexion have to change. See, because this whole white concept, right, is more about a state of mind. You understand what I'm saying? It's about a state of mind. About, you know what I'm saying, where you got one superior and one inferior type idea, right? Because, and I know a lot of y'all get caught up on that, because I be talking about tribe and how the tribe need to come first. Yeah, right. But in my mind, the tribe needs to come first. But that does not mean that our tribe is better than any other tribe. But I am striving to bring the best out of my tribe. Because if there is a competition, I want to be prepared for it, and I want to win. You understand what I'm saying? I want to win. Which does not mean that everybody else have to lose. I know that sounds strange. That sounds strange, right? But this is a big-ass planet, whether y'all know it or not, and there's enough room for all of us to, in a sense, prosper without stepping on each other's toes. Some of you don't know enough, but in your not knowing, you're doing too goddamn much. Slow down. Take your time. Do some study. It don't take no years to do, to get a basic understanding. You just start grasping and get in when you fit in. Both of y'all, both the ones that's a busybody and the one that's a mouthy body. Just kind of feel the culture out. Just go and do a little bit of research, right? Come and experience what it means to be in a tribe. Come and experience the idea of unity, right? Because it might feel a lot different than you think, especially if you think that it's going to feel like you are a cog in a machine, because it's not like that. Kwame is typing away. He says, deterministic versus quantum probabilities. Charity starts at home, and the greatest influence is on those around whom you kick it. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, what we have to start figuring out is how to get those that we are kicking it with to start operating in their optimal selves, right? How do we get a collective of individuals that are their best? Everybody, right? And you know what I'm saying? And that don't, and this is, and I need people to understand, unity does not require all of us to be the best at the same thing. As a matter of fact, unity suffers when you got too many people that are good at the same thing. It requires us to be able to handle all aspects of life. So all aspects of life are not the same, which means that in different situations, there will be different leadership. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you are the best at situation X, but we are on situation A, because you are in charge during situation X, Y, and Z, that does not mean that you need to be in charge with situation A, because there may be somebody more qualified than you to be able to take leadership in situation A. I think that's wise. Putting yourself up under one individual for leadership when you have a plethora of things that could pop up that individual might not be able to even deal with, it's kind of problematic. If we have situations where we have a group of individuals that have different levels of mastery in different things, right? when different things and different issues pop up, the one that is most skilled at that need to be the one to step up. And that's what we need to foster. That's what tribe is about. That's what true unity is about. But yo, I'm not going to go on any farther. Hey, sound the war horn, anime. Yeah, man. Here we go. Here we go. And as we say in Gye-Nyame, class is dismissed. Now get the hell up out of my classroom. Let me go and stop that real quick. Can I get the war horn, please? There we go. All right, so we can start the rant. Before we start the rant, I want to go in and I need to say, you are now standing in the congregation of the mighty, the home of the stubborn minority, the place where your hustle builds muscle. This is Gye-Nyame Media. I am your host, Brother Hatem. Of course, you know this is the Daily Toast. Koji Chagalia, to be precise. Of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simmer production. All day, air day. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. Yes, y'all. And we don't stop. Now we are talking about power. Once again, I let y'all see the board, even though I know y'all can't really see it, but it keeps me on point. Defining power. So I was sparked because I'm like, yo, I'm a Koji Chagalia baby. Giving a round of applause to all Koji Chagalia babies. Yes, it's our day. And speaking of that, I don't know how, but today is Gina's birthday. So we want to also give Gina a round of applause. It's Gina's birthday. But I don't understand, and maybe Kwame can explain this to me. Gina's birthday falls on her day. She's a Koji baby. It falls on her day, but she's not 14. Kwame, you need to explain that to me. I'm totally confused. Well, no, okay. She was born on the Koji Chagalia, which means that 7 years from the day she was born, it would be Koji Chagalia. So I guess it would have to be 14. I'm confused, Kwame. I need some help. There ain't been that many leap years and shit. Come on now. Something's not right. Right? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, getting to the whole power piece. So, defining power, right? So now, one of the things that I heard coming through college that blew my mind was power is the ability to define reality and have other people respect that reality, right? So when we start talking about Koji Chagalia, right, we have to start putting things in motion so that we can start exercising our power, being able to define things and have people respect that definition. And it starts with us, right? You think that it's about forcing other people to bend to your will and blah, blah, blah. And Gye-Nyame, one of the first exercises in power that we have is this whole day thing, right? Can we adhere to the day thing ourselves? And by our example, can we get other people within our culture or related to our culture to start doing the same thing, right? A lot of times we want to do massive demonstrations of power, right? And bend others to our will, when in fact, the ultimate power is being able to master and control yourself. And moving from controlling yourself, you are able to have a more powerful influence over your family. And when you have more powerful influence over your family, you have more power and influence over your tribe. And when you have more power and influence over your tribe, then you're going to have more power and influence over your village. And when you have more power and influence over your village, it builds up to where you got more and more power over your city. And when you got more and more power over your city, it moves into more and more power over the state. It's a step-by-step process, and all you got to do is respect the process and start exercising power in your personal lives, in your family lives, and in your tribal lives in small ways first and build up. See, because one of the things we talk about in Gye-Nyame is that if it come fast, this is one of our say, if it come fast, it don't last. If it comes slow, it's good to go. Many people want power, and they want power fast. They want power now, not knowing that power, like wealth, is something that you build up on. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if you can't adhere to your own stuff, what type of power broker are you going to be? When you can't start shaping and forming the very minds of those that are closest to you, as an individual or as a group or as a tribe, how is that possible? Remember in Gye-Nyame, we also say, because all these are sayings of power, but people don't recognize it at that because they see power as being able to make others do what you want. But nobody will respect your shit more than you, nor should they. That's a saying of power. Because if you want to change the dynamics of how the world reacts to you, you first have to change the dynamic of how you react and respond to yourself. And if you are disrespectful to yourself, if you can't follow your own mandates, if you can't hold up your own cultural memes and cultural ideas, then no one else will. Power starts at home. So when we start looking at defining power, the definition of power is very simple. Being able to, oh my God, I just said it and I lost it. The power is the ability to define reality and have others respect it. But let's take it off to others. Have yourself respected. Today is gye-nyame. And for the past 5 years, we have been on this rant at Gye-Nyame to make sure that all the people in all of our circles are able to say that on this day, it's gye-nyame. And we haven't been able to get that yet. But we got more and more people doing it every day, building up power. We got people now coming on a daily basis, whether they are live or not, that's pouring libations for their ancestors, that's raising the glass for their ancestors, step by step, shaping and forming the reality that we want, right? And when people see us respected, they'll start respecting it. When people see us holding it sacred, they will at least bow their head. They don't have to, they will at least respect the process. They will accept the process. But first we have to do it. So power starts inside. Then power starts at home. Then power starts in the tribe. Then power starts in the village. It all starts at home. I mean, all of the issues that we have, all of the stuff that we want to change, it ain't a big issue that out here that we need to take care of. There's a bunch of small issues that we have to deal with in our own personal lives and in our own personal families and personal tribes. See, because many of us, once again, we want to focus on the large aspects of power, but we don't want to focus on the small, because the small don't seem that important. But as they start stacking up, you really start to see how powerful they really are. Yo, this has been Brother Hatim, man, and has been the rant for the day. Defining power, using gye-nyame to mold reality, right? Starting by exercising that magic on yourself. So, hey, gonna fire up the Wahan. We gonna kill it. You know what I'm saying? So now, family, as we see in Gye-Nyame, I'm gonna ring that bell. Now get the hell up out my class. Don't, hey. Alright, so let's go on and get it. Let's go on over. Start it off. I'm going back to the sound effects. Alright, Anime, you ready? Can I get that war horn, please? Alright. right, family. Today is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility for those that don't speak the language. And this is, all the principles are important. I try to stress that, and it's important that we find different ways to have conversation about our principles so that we can really start building up and solidifying the culture. Because it's been too many people that's been able to hide on the flanks of the movement, hide on the borders of the movement. You know what I'm saying? So we got people doing all types of foul stuff in the name of our culture, when in actuality they have absolutely nothing to do with the culture. You know, the only culture that they really have any involvement with is the culture of capitalism, the American culture, capitalism. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that they have. So in order for us to strengthen what we have to start talking about our principles, and we have to start imagining them in new and more powerful ways. So one of the things I was thinking about was, because we kind of do this in Gye-Nyame, and we do it in with the Tawi family here in Columbus, is collective rituals, right? We have to increase the use of collective rituals. Why? Because we talk about the power of collective work and responsibility, right? Collective work, and which is an excellent term. But when you think of work, right, you're thinking that you're building something or you're getting something done, right? But there needs to be a place for the collective rituals, because in a sense, you don't just want to get people thinking that we're just building on a physical level, because if we just start getting people to think that we're building on the physical level, you know what I'm saying, we're going to start thinking a lot about resources, which we do need to think about. But we also want to think about the spiritual aspect. We also want to think about the habit building aspect of us coming together to do collective rituals. Collective rituals are, in a sense, a way that we can use to program ourselves and program our families and program our tribes with software, with cultural, let's say with cultural software, right? So the more we start doing, the more we start really taking it seriously, because we have some, but we can start adding more, and we can start doing the ones that we're doing with more of a seriousness, right? Where we have to go and really start investing time and really invest in some of the meager resources that we have into these rituals, because they build up power for us. They build up power, and they bring outside people in, give people outside an opportunity to look in at what we're doing. Because a lot of times there's a bad rap that goes with some of the stuff that's going on with our culture. Like the shit that's in the news now is really popping off in the news, and they constantly, you know what I'm saying? Because for a long time, I didn't want to be labeled conscious community. I'm Kwanzaa community, and stuff like that, because of the stigma that went with it. Because we have, and somebody brought this up, and this shit kind of blew my mind. It's a brother that's on YouTube, and I think the show is called Whatever Happened to Common Sense. And one of the things, because you got a lot of brothers that really are upset, brothers and sisters, rightfully so, that are very upset at the conscious community. And one of the things, because, of course, they lump everything into the idea of the conscious community. So you got the Nation of Islam, you got the Hebrews, you got all these supposed woke people. And one of the things that he said that he has found, and he started pointing out, he said, man, what is going on with this conscious community and all these old men messing with little girls? I had to step back and be like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a strong history of this. And what brought this back up to bear is this whole piece with Brother Polite. Now, getting off of that whole piece and getting back into the whole rituals. Once we start establishing our physical territory, and we start establishing our mental borders, right? Our spiritual borders, because there got to be things that once you step outside of it, you are no longer with us. You need a passport to get back over in this motherfucker. You lose your passport, you might be out of luck. You know what I'm saying? You violate the rules of the culture, you might not be able to cross back into these borders. And what the rituals do, it helps us come together, and it helps us form bonds, and it helps us to, in a sense, pledge allegiance to ourselves. Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now let me get to this collective relaxation. The relaxation piece is this. Where do we, because now one of the things that I'm noticing with a lot of the rituals that we do, that they are so labor intensive that some of the people that are putting on the ritual don't have time to really even enjoy it. So, it's like, because we have in some cases manicured rituals, where it's rituals that are not really rituals. They are more of a performance. It's not really a ritual. You know what I'm saying? One of the things we're trying to do in Gye-Nyame is, one, bridge the gap to where, you know what I'm saying? Because we want everybody that is there to be able to enjoy themselves. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we want to have the security. Of course, we want to have the MC or the whatever. Some people doing work, but we don't want it to be so labor intensive that we got to have 50 people, you know what I'm saying, on constant on constant duty. We want everybody to be able to enjoy themselves, because that is what ritual does. It pulls everybody in. It gets everybody to participate in elements of the culture, and it strengthens. And then also with some of the relaxation, it allows you, because you can only relax where you feel safe. You know what I'm saying? There is no relaxing in a harsh territory. There is no relaxing in unsafe surroundings. And what we have to start being able to cultivate as a group, as a culture, as a tribe, are these safe spaces where people can relax. They can, in a sense, let their hair down. But black folks don't. Our hair stand up. Let our hair stand up without being worried about being cut or something like that. We got to create these spaces where we could come together and we could be relaxed and we could feel safe and we could allow creativity to actually flow. And all this fits up under the principle of Ujima. All of this fit up under the principle of Ujima. So it's not just about us doing work. It's about us taking responsibility. It's about us being able to formulate and create these cultural stabilizing holidays and to take these holidays seriously. And it's about us being able to set up spaces where we could feel safe enough so that we could relax. You know what I'm saying? Where we even institute movements or ideas or practices of relaxation. Meditation is a practice, right? And it's a practice, a cultural practice. Do we have a certain way that we meditate? See, because in the rituals, what we do, we solidify the principles, we solidify the principles and the ideas of the culture, right? We put them to work. And even in our relaxation, we have to be able to put the principles of our culture and the ideas of our culture to work. Are we putting the ideas and principles of our culture to work? Are we putting them to work for us? Right? Or are we working for them? I mean, it's supposed to be something. Like I keep on telling y'all about this whole relation. There has to be a reciprocal relationship between these things. This is how you get an economy going. We got to serve the culture has to serve us. If it's just about us serving the culture, but the culture don't serve us, then something's wrong. We have to provide for the culture has to provide for us. If we are providing for the culture, but the culture's not providing for us, either the culture is dead, or there's something else wrong that we have to get in and fix. There has to be a reciprocal relationship between us and the culture. It has to be a reciprocal relationship between us and the members, right? Between members, between all of us, right? That's part of that responsibility that we talk about in Ujima, collective worker responsibility. But anyway, I'm going to stop right there. The time is running down, family. I want to thank you for coming over here and joining us. And I'm going to sound the war horn. And also, I'm going to do what we do in Gye-Nyame. And I'm going to say, class dismissed. Get the hell up out my classroom. So, Anime, if you could, please, could I get the war horn? Oh, man. We are on the rant. 10 minutes. So here we go, family. So the rant today is entitled Initiation as a Resource. So I woke up at about, the alarm went off at about 3 this morning. Then I lay back down and I stopped it from going back off at 3:30, to get me up. But I was like, I'm going to sleep in a little bit. Because, on Ujima, we do blunt talk. And blunt talk, now, because like I said, blunt talk, I ain't going to really say I'm in character, but I'm kind of in character. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, blunt talk is boom, let's talk bluntly, let's get some shit off our chest, let's talk about relationships, let's talk about what's going on, and it's a lot going on right now. I mean, with this whole everybody getting poked thing, and I don't think people really understand that this is going to be like a yearly thing. That, I mean, the way I'm seeing it, let me say this, I feel it's about to be a yearly thing. But some of the stuff that was coming up in our conversation for Blunt Talk yesterday kind of stuck with me. And I was like, what I'm going to talk about? And I want to talk about initiation as a resource, right? What initiation does. Initiation is part of what's called the rites of passage process, or initiation is where you are basically introduced into a group, where you are seen or tested to see if you are worthy to be part of a group. And part of the issue that's been going on with us is that we have lost the initiation process of our culture. We have lost the initiate. We don't use it, right? Because we all believe that we all born worthy or some shit like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But in some form or fashion, the whole concept of an individual proving themselves, at least in parts of our society, and especially in the conscious community, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you want to call it, the conscious community, anybody could come in. All you gotta do is be black. Now, I wasn't for that way back in the day when motherfuckers first started saying that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I remember at Ohio State, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like, because when Just Us popped off, and all of a sudden, it's like, if you black, you part of Just Us. I'm like, fuck that. I wasn't never with that, right? Because we are black, we are all the same. No. Get mad if you want. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are not the same. And some of us, and even not even some of us, all of us have to prove ourselves worthy of the blessings of our ancestors. You do not come in here just deemed as worthy. That is some fake white people psychology shit that they have thrown on us that we embraced. When in our cultures, in order to even claim manhood, it wasn't no shit about you becoming 18. You had to show yourself useful to the society, whether you were male or female. Initiation makes individuals prove who and what they are. In the initiation, a task an individual with something that could be deemed impossible, and it gives them the ability to see that they could push themselves beyond their self-imposed limitation. Initiation brings the best when done properly and guided by the wisdom of the community, right? Brings the best out of individuals, right? And it helps hold somebody to a certain standard. Because if I had to go through all this shit, I am not putting this on the line for some dumb shit. I'm not putting this on the line for something worthless. It gives me the ability to step back and weigh my options, because many times individuals are able to come into our community and have to give nothing. They don't have to give money. They don't have to give blood. They don't have to give sweat. They don't have to give tears. They could just be part of it. Because they are black. And they look like me. And they got nappy hair. And they got big wide noses. And they are able just to belong. Because. And family, I have to challenge that. I have to challenge our mind state on that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of us, we get uncomfortable. Right? Because we say we all the same. We all equal. But we're not. We're not. We're not. To say that we all are all equal is for us to be in insincere. How do you say it? Ingenuine. Right? So you mean that somebody that's been slaving for the community for years. Let's put a time on it. Let's say for 10 years, they've been doing stuff for the community for 10 years, and all of a sudden, some new person comes up, and you mean to tell me that these individuals are equally valued to the group? That's what y'all saying. That's what at least, maybe that's what I'm hearing. Maybe that's what I'm hearing. There is no process through which we can see whether somebody pass or fail to be part of us. And that's a wasted resource. Our ancestors have laid it out. In every one of our societies, there was a process that an individual showed themselves worthy to be part of the larger society, to be called an adult. There was a process there. And for some reason, we think that we have moved beyond that. Evolved beyond that. We are civilized now. Doing the shit that I'm seeing now. We can't even hold a community together because we can't hold a family together. And we are so civilized. And our uncivilized ancestors are barbaric ancestors were able to hold families together. Come on now. Somebody got to talk to me. Because something's not right. And I'm thinking it's because of the wasted resource. Because initiation is a resource. Initiation guides energy. Initiation is a lure to mastery. Goddamn. Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that? Initiation is a lure to mastery. And because we don't have it, we ain't luring people to mastery. We're luring people to become jacks of all trades. Motherfuckers is partial experts on everything. You know what I'm saying? One minute they telling us about the genetics. Next minute they telling us about history. Motherfucker know everybody. Everybody can't be a Renaissance man. Then if everybody's a Renaissance man or woman, then there's no goddamn Renaissance. I'm just saying, family. I'm just saying. Initiation is a wasted resource. We are not using it. We are not applying it. We are not tasking individuals. We are not testing individuals. We are not seeing what individuals are willing to sacrifice and willing to put up so that they will stay right. Because part of the issue with us is because I don't have nothing to lose, I could do anything. So what they ain't gonna do, they ain't gonna kick me out for that long. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna forgive me. Is there anything that you could do in our community that's unforgivable? You know, I asked a question a while years ago when I was younger, because I used to hear people constantly talking about this balance, you know, the Maya balance. And then you would have people that would be so spiritual, and it would appear to me that it was too much. I mean, it's too much. This is why we losing. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're too goddamn, it don't make no sense. All of us is not the same. We can't be, you want me to be honest with my goddamn enemy? Are you serious? Oh my God. Oh my God. We gonna lose. We gonna lose. I can't, I disappeared for a while. Because motherfucker got so spiritual, it was scary. right? So they would do shit like, well, I ain't gonna go into what they would do, but let me, I'm over. I'm up to me, I gotta finish. So people will talk about the scales of my eye, and they say it would have to be balanced. So I would ask the question. I said, so if my heart weighs too much, what happens? You're cast out. You know, you get ate up by it because it's a big old funny looking dude on the scales, and when your heart is too heavy, he eats it and shits it back out, and I guess you got to live life over, or I don't know, or maybe you a giant alligator, crocodile, mutant shit for it. I don't know, right? But I said, what happens if your heart is too light? And they would say shit to me like, your heart can't be too light. If it could be too heavy, because a balance requires two extremes. If a balance is in between two extremes. So that means that if your heart could be too heavy and you be cast off the scale, what happens if your heart is too light? Absolutely no balance. Absolutely no concept of the fact that you could be too much on either side is bad. Right? What initiation does, initiation allows a person to put a deposit down on their membership in the family, in the tribe, in the village, in the community. And by us not having a down payment, people are using our community and moving out and leaving our property decimated, destroyed, and disrespected. Nobody respects something that they do not have to work for. They don't respect it. And they will never respect your stuff more than you, nor should they. This is Brother High Tim, and I'm going to say, the rant is over. And as we say in Gye-Nyame family, as we say in Gye-Nyame, class is dismissed. Now get the hell up out of my class. All right, family, let's get it. It's time for us to do the toast and lift. I ain't even take a sip. Y'all got me all hyped up. You know, because this whole conversation. Damn, let me turn this off. You off. Now it is just us. Over here at gye-nyamejourney. Over here at gye-nyamejourney. So let's get it, family. We got to have a talk. All right. Anime, can I get the war horn, baby? I need the war horn. Can I get the war horn? Please. I need the war horn. Let's get the war horn popping off. Oh, man. This rant today is called If a Zombie Has a Purpose, What in the Hell is the Matter with You? All right, y'all know today is Nia. And those that don't speak the language, hopefully you can figure out what Nia is by the title of the talk, right? So, being somebody who don't really like monster movies, but knowing a lot about mythology and stuff, there's a being called a zombie. A zombie got to be the slowest and the dumbest of all mythological creatures. Slow and dumb. Bad combination in any form or fashion. But the zombie is very clear on what its purpose is. Whether it's eating brains or getting crack. Now, those you old enough know what I'm talking about, right? They get it. They will go slow and steady until they receive what it is they were out to get. They know their purpose. And because they know their purpose, although from the outside looking in, it don't look like they are very successful. From the outside looking in, it don't look like a good existence. They are doing what they were, in a sense, born or created to do. Now the question that arises up, that if a dumb-ass zombie can do what a zombie does and survive, why can't you? What is wrong with you? You know why? Because the zombie is very clear on its purpose. It hasn't overcomplicated its purpose. It hasn't went to school and got its purpose diluted. It hasn't been trained against itself. A zombie is using its basic instincts and the need to survive to drive its existence. Unlike some of us. Some of us have complicated our existence so much that we have absolutely no idea why we exist. As a matter of fact, we no longer serve our purpose. We have become a cog in someone else's purpose. We help other people fulfill their purpose, and we still can't get no satisfaction out of that. You mean to tell me that a zombie is smarter than us? Let me give you something that's even that might even be dumber. Don't take it personal. I have these things called scobies, and I talk about them all the time. A scobie is a very simple creature. It's a culture of yeast and bacteria that form around a tea and honey mix that I make. It seals it off from everything else in the environment so that it can eat itself. It's very clear about its purpose. Very simple and straightforward about its purpose. Now, as human beings, why have we complicated our stories so much that we can't figure out our purpose? Right? And I know a lot of y'all is like it's this grandiose thing, but let's get down to the basics, right? We need to eat and we need to reproduce. I know some of y'all gonna be like, brother, I tell you that's too simple. But in just mastering doing those two things and doing them right, and doing them for the benefit not only of yourself, but for your family and your tribe. See, I said reproduce, right? In order to build a family, you have to reproduce. But you just don't reproduce for reproduction's sake. You reproduce so that you could raise healthy offspring. Those healthy offsprings will take your family to another level. Why? Because now your healthy offsprings become individuals that can help you. Now they not only help you in obtaining food, they help you in maintaining and protecting the homestead. And the homestead can grow. And as the homestead grows, the home front grows, right? So does your family. Now, your family, if it's linked in with other families that are doing the same thing, where you got men and women that's coming together to create families, right? Healthy families, right? You understand what I'm saying? You're replacing yourself with healthy human beings. You're training up and you're raising up healthy human beings. What more do you have to do? I'm just saying. If you're able to produce food and you're able to reproduce yourself and you're able to raise them up healthy, right? You're able to do those things. What more do you need to do? See, because it's like this. In the process of growing the food or obtaining the food, and in the process of reproduction and raising what you reproduce, you become better. And you pass on your knowledge to the next generation. Very simple purpose. Very simple. Right? But we complicate it. We throw a whole bunch of other hurdles in there that we have to jump over. You know what I'm saying? Have you not found it strange that human beings have to go through education for 12 years and then add another 4 years to that? Right? Birds don't have colleges to teach them how to fly. Fish don't have colleges to teach them how to swim. You know what I'm saying? Bears don't have colleges that teach them how to hibernate, right? Because they stick to the basics. We get caught up in the complications. We get caught up in other people's mechanisms. We get caught up and end up getting lost. And by the time we discover what our purpose is, our whole life has been consumed with foolishness. I'm just saying, right? So family, identify your purpose and break it down to the simplicities, right? Because when what you do serves the simplicities of eating and reproducing, and I want to be clear about the reproduction, eating quality and reproducing quality. You got it? Not eating quantity and reproducing quantity. We're eating quality and we're producing quality. We're birthing quality. We're raising quality. What more do you need? And Brother Kwame said animals use apprenticeships. They learn what they need to learn, and they keep it moving, keeping it very simple, keeping it very basic, and they're able to. I mean, it's like we make things so hard. You know what I'm saying? And we allow our children to get caught up in it, even though we know. You know what I'm saying? You are on a track to destroy yourself. You are on a track to get an ulcer. You are on a track to have an aneurysm. You are on a track to be constantly surrounded by unhealthy stress. Stress that won't even help you grow. Stress that's going to keep you stuck. But we don't say nothing. Oh, let them pursue their dreams. And then the question we have to ask is the dreams that our young people, and that's some of us, are the dreams that we are pursuing, are they really ours, or were they implanted into us? Does it improve my life? Does it improve my family life? Does it improve my tribal life? Well, maybe I should say that backwards. Does it improve my tribal life? Does it improve my family life? Does it improve my personal life? However you want to look at it. Ask yourself those basic questions. When you start doing things, those of you that's out there that want to change your life, how does this improve my tribal life? How does it improve my family life? How does it improve my personal life? When you ask those three things, right? And you ask them in that order, because when you start with the tribe, you're expanding it beyond yourself, but not really expanding it so much beyond yourself that you are useless to everybody else. You're expanding it to a group that you can assist. Then you're expanding it to a group that is closest, that is close to you. Then you're bringing it to yourself, and you're going through that. When you look at something and you wonder whether or not it's your purpose, ask yourself, damn, I didn't push record. So I'm gonna have to go. This is gonna be painful. All right. Oh, damn. I'm sorry. All right, but anyway, we're gonna stop it, family. Ask yourself those three. How does this improve my tribe? How does this improve my family? How does it improve me? How does it serve? You know what I'm saying? However you ask it, whatever words you put on there, when you throw it through the tribe, the family, and your filter, you get down to the basics, to the brass tacks. All right, this is Brother Tim. I want to thank you. Thank you. We at about the 35-minute mark, 35:02. Let me write that down, 35:02. Because I'm going to have to go in here and extract this because I'm trying to do another compilation. But anyway, so Anime, can I get that horn, please? And as we say in Gye-Nyame, get the hell up out of my classroom.